The Monty Python team once very uncharitably described Finland as a poor second to Belgium when going abroad. Prime Minister, you and your government have shown that Finland is a poor second to nobody when it comes to running a European Union presidency. Thank you for the work you've done, bringing Europe closer to its citizens. Following on from the comitology agreement we had with the Austrians, you have opened legislation to public scrutiny. I believe that 86% of legislative decisions under your presidency have been taken in public, a total of 90 decisions compared to only 17 last year. That is a great step forward. And I hope that the German presidency will take it further by getting agreement among member states to publish the correlation tables so that we can see how member states put into national law decisions taken at European level and make a fair comparison. Prime Minister, you have also, to your credit, an agreement on REACH, an agreement on the Services Directive, on which, thankfully, whatever Mr. Schulz says, we defeated all of the amendments of the Socialist rapporteur, an agreement on next year's budget, and an agreement to bring Bulgaria and Romania into our Union. Liberals and Democrats salute your efforts too, to try to get agreement on the footbridge Article 42 clause, and we regret that this was not possible at the Lahti summit. But we therefore disagree with paragraph 3 of the Presidency conclusions, which says that the Union is, and I quote, making the best use of the possibilities offered by the existing treaties to deliver concrete results. It is clearly not, as you recognise a few paragraphs later, when we talk about how responding to the expectations of citizens is difficult with the existing decision-making procedures and the framework needs to be strengthened. I hope the German presidency will get agreement on Article 42. We cannot wait for a new treaty, and our message to Prime Minister Merkel must be Europa muss handlungsfähig sein. Justice and Home Affairs is just one example of where such progress is needed. We've talked a lot about migratory flows. Hitherto, too much of the focus has been on security and too little on the economic or humanitarian aspects of these flows. And therefore we welcome the recognition in the Presidency conclusions of the wider aspects, particularly the link between development policy and immigration policy, and the need for a legal migration policy, opening up the front door a little in order better to close the back door to illegal migration. Because on illegal migration, more work is needed. It's no good just to have a rapid enhancement of Frontex or permanent coastal patrols. They are only part of the answer. We need to know why people are coming. And in fact, if you look at the other things you discussed at the summit, Sudan, if the European Union really recognised the new UN doctrine of the duty to protect, fewer people would be moving out of the Sudan. Palestine, Lebanon, Afghanistan. Unless we're able to provide security and good government and life chances for people there, they will continue to move. It's no coincidence that some of these countries are the countries of origin of the greatest numbers heading towards our shores. Perhaps the most important outcome of the summit, Prime Minister, is paragraph 5, a strong statement on how enlargement has been a success. But clearly, if one looks at the Eurobarometer published last week, that message has not gone through to our citizens. And we need leadership from our heads of state and government, telling people what a success enlargement has been and how continued enlargement will be needed once we have our constitutional arrangements in place. And if leadership is needed on enlargement, it's needed too in ending the isolation of the Turkish Cypriots. On reading the sections in the Presidency conclusions, there's too much, leaving leadership to the United States. We're particularly concerned about the Eurojust arrangement signed with the USA. Perhaps if we had the passerelle in foreign and security policy, we would be able to promote European values further and better. President, I'm running out of time, but I would like to say that your presidency has, in our view, been a success, and we hope the return to your country will give you a good rest next week, undisturbed by the clatter of reindeer hooves. President, Mr. Pöttering has given his final speech to this House. He has been a fair, frank and I'm pleased to say federalist companion. The European Parliament needs an ideological majority rather than a grosse coalition. We were pleased to work with him in an ideological majority for a while. He will find that this inhaltlose Zweisamkeit ist nur Einsamkeit zu zweit. Nonetheless, we wish him all the best for the future, whatever he ends up doing.
Very good.